Introduction. Trinidad Hermenegildo Jose Maria Juan Francisco Pardo Tavera y Uricho was a Filipino physician, historian, and politician of Spanish and Portuguese descent who served as Deputy Prime Minister of the Philippines in 1899. He was born on April 13, 1857 in Escolta Street, Manila, and died on March 26, 1925 in Manila. He also wrote the Filipino version of the bloody incident in Cavite. Trinidad Hermenegildo Jose Maria Juan Francisco Pardo Tavera y Uricho. He began his researches in Paris when he was a medical student at the Sorbonne. Undoubtedly, he was inspired by the queries about a native country of European Orientalists he met in that center of learning. His first work, Contribution para el Estudio de los Antiguos Alfabetos Filipinos, appeared in 1884 and was dedicated to Professor Ferdinand Blumentritt, noted Austrian Orientalist. The account of Pardo de Talavera was originally written for the official report of the census of 1903 as a part of General Survey of the Philippines History. Cavite Mutiny, January 20, 1872. Brief uprising of 200 Filipino troops and workers at Cavite Arsenal, which became the excuse for the Spanish repression of embryonic Philippine nationalist movement. Ironically, the harsh reaction of the Spanish authorities served ultimately to promote the national cause. Location: Fort San Felipe, Cavite, Spanish East Indies, Philippine Island. The incorrect interpretation of the attitude of De la Torre. There are several errors of detail as the identity of the men who were executed of exile as a result of the mutiny. Pedro Paterno, Father Maximo, had been deported to Marianas in 1872 through a young Pedro himself, at that time, who was a student on Spain.
The prisoners, Recoleto priest Agapito Echigollen and Augustinian priest Antonio Pierna-Vieja, were known to have been tortured by the rebel leader Mariano Alvarez. The documents reveal the crimes and cruelties of friars and attribute the Gomburza's execution to them. They claim that 4 friars, who knew that a rebellion was being planned in Cavite, sent a friar who looked like Burgos to visit the rebels and give out money to them. These documents were cited in a pamphlet written by Jose Basa, addressed to the American Consul General in Hong Kong. The pamphlet, requesting the aid of Americans, tells of the mistreatments Filipinos have suffered under Spanish rule. In the official report of the 1903 census is Trinidad Pardo de Tavera's version. His version denies that the mutiny was a plot to overthrow the Spanish, which is the friars' claim, but was merely due to workers expressing their feelings after being deprived of their exemption from tribute. The friars persuaded the government to brutally punish people without a fair trial. Pardo de Tavera's version irritated Father Serapio Tamayo, leading him to write in defense of the friars. The document depended greatly on Montero's version.
The account of Pierna-Vieja, on the other hand, attributes that deed of Father Claudio del Arco, whom he does not further identify, but who was actually a Resuelto parish priest of Santa Cruz, Zambales. Pardo de Tavera, nephew of Joaquin Pardo de Tavera, and brought up his household in that Pedro Paterno and San Maximo Paterno, another of these exiled to the Marianas in 1872. The account of Pardo de Tavera was originally written for the official report of the census of 1903 as a part of General Survey of the Philippine History. Pierna-Vieja did not give us the source of his knowledge, but Echigollen, who came to the Philippines a few months after the event, alleged that the account of came to the fellow friar, Father Soprano Navarro. The account of Pierna-Vieja, on the other hand, attributes the deed to the Father Claudio del Arco, whom does not further identify that he was actually a Resuelto parish priest of Santa Cruz, Zambales. In the first category, follow documents which, though they remain unpublished as a whole, seem to be circulated in copies to a considerable degree, and those have entered into a later account. The 2 documents in question were written by Father Agapito Echigollen, a Resuelto, and Father Antonio Pierna-Vieja, an Augustinian. The two documents in question were written by Father 𝚂𝚎𝚌𝚘𝚗𝚍 Irisoleto and Father Antonio Pinabera, an Augustinian, both of whom were taken prisoners by the revolutionary forces in Cavite in 1896. Both documents confessed to the condemn various crimes and abuses allegedly committed by the friars, beginning with the period just prior to the Cavite Mutiny. Actually written by the individual whose name are pendant to them, since they contain accurate data which only the person named could have known, the various parishes the writers had held, and the dates which they had arrived, and each of their assignments, they can securely accepted the reliable documents given the facts that the both men were prisoners are known to have been tortured by Magdiwang leader Mariano Alvarez before being finally executed at the orders of Andres Bonifacio.